Alright, I'm a comic book movie fan. Y'all know that about me. So I decided to go to the double feature. That's 4 hours of Deadpool. Deadpool 2. So Deadpool 2, it's finally out, it's finally among us, it's a sequel to Deadpool. When Deadpool 1 came out, everyone loved the hell out of it. I was like, it's good. It focused a little too much on the origin for me, but I still thought it was really good. Not my favorite comic book movie ever or anything like that, but still really good. Still really enjoyable. I've seen it many times. I'm pretty sure it's still the highest grossing rated R movie of all time. Something like that. So now it's got a sequel, Deadpool 2. Ryan Reynolds returns as Wade Wilson, the Merc with a mouth Deadpool. The ass-kicking, fourth wall-breaking, guns and knives-toting, self-healing mutant who is living out his life with the love of his life, Vanessa. And just like he promised us in that post-credit scene in Deadpool 1, a mutant named Cable, played by Josh Brolin, arrives from the future. And he's here to kill a kid because apparently this kid is going to cause some real problems for the future. And Vanessa's like, no, kids, give us a chance to be better than we used to be. Something like that. So Deadpool puts together a team called the X-Force and we gotta stop Cable from killing this kid and, you know, altering time. And now we have our Deadpool sequel that everyone is saying is not as good as the first one. And I was like, how is this not gonna be better than the first one? We don't have to deal with an origin story, so we can just hit the ground running and just have fast-paced Deadpool humor throughout the entire movie. It's gonna be a blast. Turns out there's more than one thing that could make a Deadpool sequel not as good as the first one. Alright, first off, yes, Ryan Reynolds still kills it as Deadpool, literally. Everyone loves him as Deadpool. It's 10 out of 10 casting. Some of the pop culture references he makes just made me laugh out loud. Some of the ones he made, not so much. But you see that he's so passionate about this role because it's really the only thing that's made him any real money. I still love seeing Ryan Reynolds play Wade Wilson. I'm always gonna love that. But Josh Brolin as Cable, I also really liked. I feel like several people could have played him, you know, several gruff, burly men who are actors out there. But Josh Brolin did a good job. I mean, I'd say he was better as Thanos in Infinity War, because I wouldn't say Cable had much personality, but that's what I know Cable for being. If you've ever played the Deadpool game, Cable is in that game and he's pretty much the same character here. He's always pissed off at everything Deadpool does. You know, Deadpool's cracking jokes and Cable's like, gotta be serious, it's about the mission, stop jerking off. And yeah, Josh Brolin played that role pretty well. And Domino, played by Zazie Beetz, an actress I haven't heard of before this movie, but I really like her character too. I've heard of Domino because she was also in the Deadpool game, and her mutant power is luck. Things just always tend to go her way, which I'm not gonna lie, I would love having that power. I think everyone would. It's like having that liquid luck from Half-Blood Prince, but all the fucking time. But she's sassy, she has some pretty funny lines in this movie as well, and she knows how to kick ass. She's one of the members of this X-Force team that Deadpool ends up putting together. The kid in this movie, his name's Russell. He calls himself Fire Fist because, you know, he shoots fire out of his fists. It's pretty self-explanatory. The young actor was also in that movie called Hunt for the Wilder People. I haven't seen that movie, but I've heard that he pretty much plays the same character. He's just a shit-talking little kid. But one of the strong points is the bond that, you know, the kid and Deadpool have to form in this movie because Deadpool has, you know, he needs to have a reason to save this kid from Cable. I think it works out pretty well, actually. I think they have some pretty good chemistry. Like, the overall acting in the movie is fine. That's not my main problem with this movie. The main problem I have with this movie is that even though there's no origin story to slow this movie down, just some of the pacing in this movie I thought was a little slow, just in general. Like, some of the scenes in this movie would just drag on for longer than I felt they needed to. Like, I get the point of the scene. It's either to crack a joke or to get to some predictable plot point that I know where we're headed. Can we keep up that Deadpool fast pace that I felt the first one had better than this one? Like, the only reason I didn't give Deadpool 1 my best rating was because of that origin scene where he's walking through the streets with that, you know, ugly mug and people are just giving him weird looks and it's supposed to be like this sad, like serious scene. I was like, we are watching Deadpool, right? That was the one scene that slowed down the movie for me. That one scene. If that scene like wasn't really in it or if it was done better, I probably would have given the movie my best rating. Deadpool 2 had a couple of scenes like that where it dragged on for a little too long or it was too serious and I was like, this is not giving me the Deadpool vibe that I'm familiar with. And I'm getting kind of bored. I never thought I would be bored in Deadpool 2. Also, some of the humor just wasn't that funny at all. It was a little too basic for me. And this is where I'm gonna start to sound really douchey because basic humor for me just does not make me laugh. It's really stupid. Most comedies these days don't make me laugh. That's why I don't see most comedies these days. Because I can see it coming from a mile away and so I'm like, oh, I saw that coming. It's not funny. It's just dumb. I'd say about a good half the humor in this movie for me felt like that. That's a huge bummer. The big laughs in this movie for me came from either like physical slapstick stuff, which always gets me laughing, or the fourth wall breaking meta humor that Deadpool cracks in this movie. That shit sometimes in this movie is on point like it was in the first one. It's excellent. Those mid-credit scenes, holy shit. best part of the movie. But then that half of the humor that was not funny, it's like this movie's trading one set of problems for another. The action was fun, you know, Deadpool's always gonna be really violent, because that's what Deadpool should be, and it's great for the first maybe half hour. But nothing in the action in this movie really impressed me. Nothing new, you know? It's just more Deadpool kicking ass with guns and knives, lots of blood, sweet kills. They're running around the highway, Cable and Domino, and other X-Men characters that may or may not be in this movie. Some of the X-Men jokes that this movie made were like some of the best in the movie. One in particular involving a certain cameo, I was like, that is so funny. Hilarious. But if you came to this movie looking forward to the X-Force, I'm gonna disappoint you right now. The X-Force element in this movie is kind of wasted. I'm not gonna say how because that is entering spoiler territory, but don't go into this movie expecting X-Force. Go into it expecting Deadpool 2 with Cable and Domino. That's all I'm gonna say. I feel like I'm making this movie sound worse than it is. I did enjoy this movie. It's a fun Deadpool adventure with some great pop culture references, you know, Marvel Cinematic Universe references, DC references. There were some references that I wanted it to make that it didn't. I mean, they were so obvious. You could have made them in this movie. Watch my video about the trailer for this movie. You'll see what I'm talking about. This movie didn't make them. I was like, oh, come on, man. I'm smarter than this movie. That or the joke was just way too obvious and everyone would have seen it coming. I feel like I would have been satisfied to hear those jokes. I'll say the music was pretty good though. Tyler Bates did the score. He was a pretty good pick, you know, considering that he's the lead guitarist for Marilyn Manson. The score for a Deadpool movie should rock. It does. The soundtrack, though, there are some pretty good songs in this movie. Again, just like the first one, there's hip-hop, a lot of rap. There's a song that plays during the credits, though, that's kind of a throwback to a song from the first movie, and I thought it was hilarious. In the end, Deadpool 2 was not as good as I hoped it would be, but it was still pretty fun. These Deadpool movies, for me, like, I wish I liked them more, I'm being honest. Because Deadpool is a great character. I love Deadpool. Everyone loves Deadpool. He's a badass who breaks the fourth wall. How is that not a genius move on Marvel's part? But the fact is, humor is really subjective, you know? Some people like some humor and other people like other humor. You can't please everyone, you know? But I love the characters in Deadpool 2. I like the action. The story is actually pretty good. I really like the story in Deadpool 2. I like the music, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this franchise goes. So for Deadpool 2, I will say, go see this movie while it's in theaters. It's a fun movie, you'll have a good time, but if you'd rather see Infinity War again, I wouldn't blame you. So Deadpool 2, have you seen it? What did you think about it? And what is your favorite Deadpool moment in either of the movies so far? Whatever it is, go ahead and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe.